in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontide and the dew.
Praise his holy name. It does my heart good this morning to see so many children who will be graduating. But as I sat back here while Adrian T. Hazel graduates were before me, I kind of started reading off some of the last names on the back of their shirts. And something became very clear to me. Anguilla is changing. Just check the last names and you will see where once the dominant names were like Hughes and Connor, Richardson, Hodge. Now you find a lot of those that you can't even call. But that is good. Yes. We need diversity. Yes. Praise God. I pray to God that He will open your minds so that as I avail myself to the control of His Holy Spirit, and as He speaks through me, each word would be a seed fallen on good ground. I will endeavor to keep the message as simple as possible for the benefit of the little ones, and from time to time will speak to them directly. I would like all parents and guardians to pay keen attention, for I am sure some 5-year-olds can go places and do things that you can't do on these little devices. Today's message is about sowing. And we know that once we sow, it is because we expect to reap. Okay? The passage of scripture that was read from St. Matthew chapter 13 spoke about sowing and the types of soil that those seeds fell on. Matthew 13 and part B said, "Behold, a sower went out to sow." We are all familiar with sowing. Now what we do generally here, we would plow a large plot of land, and then depending on the crop, we would go out, make holes in that prepared soil, and put the seeds in. When we are going to plant vegetables, however, because the seeds are very tiny, we treat them differently. We prepare seed beds or boxes, and then we would scatter those tiny seeds in the soil. But before we scatter the seeds, we make sure that we have the finest soil. Today you can go to a hardware and buy what they call ProMix or some other soil for potting and sow your seeds in. There was a time when we didn't have that available to us. So in order to get the finest soil, we would sift it, pass it through a sifter until we had the gravel out of it and had just the fine soil. I'm saying this because I want to bring to your attention that the soil you prepare for sowing your seeds in is very important. I want to address you parents first of all. I want parents to recognize that the home is the seed bed. The learning environment you create at home for your child is the type of soil you are sowing in. We sow the seeds of the fruits and vegetables we want to reap. And why that seed? We believe that in it is the life cycle of the tree or vine it came from. The same holds true for us. And it is all part of God's plan. Let me stir your minds for a moment with this saying. All men are created equal. Do you believe that? This statement is true, and if you think it is false, tell me about the child that was born clothed or holding something in his hands. We all came into this world naked and empty-handed. But inside each one of us, the Creator placed seeds of greatness. He gave each one of us a mind and the ability to think. None of us were born any different to the great men and women in the world today, or those that have passed on. Leonardo da Vinci, who painted his masterpieces. The Wright brothers, who invented the aeroplane. Thomas Edison, who gave us electricity. And I would add something about him, which I want you graduating students to remember. As a boy in school, Edison was given a paper to take home to his mother saying, don't send him back to school because his head can't hold anything. But yet before us today, we enjoy electricity because he dared to persevere and pursue after what his mind told him. All the seeds are equal. Look at these children. Except for physical appearance, can you tell of any differences in them? We can't. Yet, they are the seeds that will produce the fruits of teachers, doctors, lawyers, chefs, and even pastors. And I dare say, at the time of conception, God programmed each one to produce the fruit He wanted them to bear, and entrusted each parent with the sowing of those tiny seeds, your child or children. What type of soil have you sown into? In other words, what type of home environment did you start your young child in? Was it one of love, where your child would see you caring, sharing, and helping others? What kind of language do you use? Do you quarrel in the presence of your child? Do you know how your child acts and reacts when I play with others? What I'm asking you, parents of Prophecy Preschool, what quality seedling did you give the teacher? Remember, the teachers are the planters, and their ultimate goal is to make sure each plant grow up and bear fruit. Good, healthy fruit. But they can only work with what is provided to them.
That's right. Amen.
You see, oftentimes when we want to plant vegetables, we don't bother to go through the process of preparing bed and sowing the seeds. We head on down to the agriculture department, and there we purchase the type of vegetable we want. And then we go back home and we would plant them in our prepared soil. That is called transplanting. We can buy good, healthy seedlings from the agriculture department. But if the soil we have prepared for them is not properly treated, we don't have it manured well, we don't water them when we transplant them, we don't cover them from the heat of the sun when we put them out, then we will find they will not survive. So it is our responsibility as parents to make sure that the seedlings, the little children that we send from home to start school, have been well started. When teachers get children that are properly started at home, it is much easier for them to bring them along.
Amen.
Amen.
In about 6 years, those little ones that you saw up here from prophecy will be sitting where those from the Adrian T. Hazel School are sitting right now. And so the process will continue year after year. I want you to know that while all the seeds are equal and all seedlings are transplanted into the same soil, cared for by the same workers, the yield is not the same from each plant. Understand that? Because some parents may wonder, why is it that that child in Teacher Heather's class is more advanced than my child, which is also in her class? Think about it for a moment. They're all equal, and they're in the same soil, cared for by the same worker. The yield is not the same. I am sure that anyone who plants corn knows that they will put 3 grains in a hole. They grow up and produce ears that are all different. One may have grains all the way to the top of the cob. Another will have a few grains missing at the top or bottom, while the third one will just have a few scattered grains on the cob. You see, we have no control over the increase. It is God who gives the increase. The same is true in our lives, just as in the field. And so, parents, you sow the seeds, and the teachers do the planting, watering, weeding, trimming, and whatever is necessary until the harvest. But it is your child who reaps the harvest. Therefore, prepare them for a bountiful harvest so that all can rejoice together. Adrian T. Hazel graduates. As I looked at some of you standing in front of me, I marveled because At 11 plus and 12, many of you are bigger physically than I and several of my generation were, even at age 16. And I want to challenge you this morning. You are being transferred to an open field, where oftentimes you will have to compete with others for the same prize. And so you will need to rely on what you have been taught to make the right decision. I specifically use the word taught and not learn, because I know you are learning things from other sources that are not educationally beneficial to you. But I want you to understand that whatever you feed your mind will affect who and what you become in the future. Learn to think positive. Never say, I can't. Always try. Don't use your cell phone to gossip and display embarrassing and harmful information about others, even if you dislike them. Remember the saying, what goes around comes around. I want you from today to look back into your minds and erase some negative things you have learned and replace them with positive things. When your smartphone accumulates too much junk, it slows the processing process. You then clean or restore it to factory settings. The same is true with your mind. Give them the same treatment. God can clean and restore it. Just desire it and ask Him. If you have been taught to do things by yourself, push that away and learn how to partner. I tell you this because I know in Anguilla, when we were growing up, and many parents, saints, have taught their children the same way. Your own is your own if you take it in a spoon. Don't let anybody else see what you're doing. Don't take anybody as a partner. Well, look at where we are today and observe keenly what is happening to us and tell me if it's not better that we partner. You see, there is an old Chinese proverb that says, you can take one stick and break it easily, but when you tie a number of sticks in a bundle, you can't break them. That's right. Observe what is happening around you and see that the Chinese are following this philosophy.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Amen. Amen. Right.
It works. Right. You don't have to wonder about it. So learn from them. Yeah. Two heads are better than one. That's right. So whenever possible, try studying with a friend. Amen. Time is precious and waits for no one. Don't waste yours or others. Always look for lessons in things happening around you and learn from them. You don't have to make the same mistakes as others. Learn from theirs.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
You are the seeds, you are the plants, you will be the harvest. But more importantly, you will reap the harvest. And so I say to you, become a worker that will not be ashamed. Remember this story and learn from it.
That's right.
A wealthy gentleman called in a builder friend one day and said to him, I want you to build me the best house you can, sparing no luxury. Just send me the bill as you progress. The day came when the house was completed. The builder called his friend to deliver the keys. As they walked through each room, the gentleman shook his head in appreciation. It was a magnificent dwelling. They returned to the outside. He congratulated the builder and locked the door behind him. He turned to the builder and said, so this is your best work? Yes, it is, was the reply. This is what I would like for myself one day. The gentleman took his hand, shook it, and then put the keys back in it and said to him, the house is yours, my friend. Just consider for a moment, what if that builder had used inferior materials in the construction of that house? He would have cheated himself. So whenever you are asked to do something for someone, do your best. You will always win. I now must address the use of social media, which is most children's favorite teacher. And parents, you cannot be ignorant of it. Your 3-year-old knows how to get on YouTube, or how to download the game they want. So just imagine what your 8 and 12-year-old who have information technology as a subject in school can do. You need to know how to look over their shoulders. But you can't do it if you have no knowledge of using the devices that put you on the internet. You don't need a PC. If you have a smartphone, something similar to this, or smaller, doesn't matter. You have a tablet, a TV box, and a flat screen TV, or even this little gadget. This little dongle is called a mini TV. The mini TV. This will take you to the internet. This will bring you all your television programming. And whatever your computer can do for you, most cases, this will do it. But you know what I like about it? You can take it with you wherever you go. So if I'm going on a trip, I can just push this in my pocket, and then when I get to the hotel, I can use it to watch what I want to watch and not what they have there. Gadgets are cheap and easy to get. Another time, maybe one Sunday night, I will demonstrate this for you, and how simple and easy it is to use. So parents, learn to use them and follow your children around. There are ways that you can follow them and look over their shoulder without they even knowing about it with these gadgets. Don't underestimate them. They are very clever. They know how to get to where they want to go and how to hide their footsteps. You need to know how to follow and how to uncover their footsteps. Spend a little time getting to know the web and learn some of the places it will take you. Your child needs to go there, but you have to police it. All kinds of criminals are prowling on it, waiting to scatter weed seeds among your young plants. Be vigilant and watchful. As I close, it is my prayer that each parent will recognize the responsibility they have been given by God and the trust He has placed in them when He said to man, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. Keep in mind, He will not allow the weeds to overcome the good plants. Just look back at Noah and look at Sodom and Gomorrah. He will always give us back fruit from the seeds we have sown. Children, you are your parents' fruit, and in you are the seeds to carry on not only the family's line, but also your community's existence. Learn how to make the most use of whatever life presents you with. Take a trip to the sea rocks sometimes and examine the plants, and you will notice there is no soil, but all the roots are down in the crevices of the rocks. Yet they are green, some have flowers, while others have both seeds and flowers. God can do the same with you when you trust in Him. Put your life in His hands. God bless you.
Sowing in the sunshine, sowing in the shadows, fearing neither clouds nor winter's chilly breeze. By and by the harvest and the labor ended, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves.